First, let's spend 1 minute recapping what we did the day before. Remember, the day before we solved one-step equations. And we said our goal was to get the variable alone. And how do we do that? Is we use inverse operations. In other words, inverse meaning opposite, and operations is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, now let's go back to our notes for today. There is an order to solving these equations that we're going to encounter. The first thing that we want to take care of is any adding or subtracting. That's the first step. And the second thing is take care of any multiplying or dividing. So the first thing we're going to do is add or subtract. The second thing we're going to do is multiply or divide. Just as we kind of did, this is kind of different than the order of operations. I'm just going to box that in, use this for a reference, and then we'll start our first problem here. Okay, here's my first example. We're only going to do 3 examples, but we're going to be checking them. Sorry about that. So this is my problem, 3x minus 6 equals 15. Over here, I'm going to try and solve for the letter x. And then I'm going to take that answer and put it right here to see if it's true, to see if this left side equals the right side. So go ahead and write this down very quickly. 3x minus 6 equals 15. Over here, we're going to check it. 3 parentheses, I'm going to put some number in there, whatever my answer is, minus 6 equals 15. Okay, remember, the order we do things is adding or subtracting. So look, I could take care of the multiplying, take care of this 3 times x by dividing by 3, or I can add 6 to get rid of the minus 6. Well, what I want to do is take care of any adding or subtracting first. So I will take care of this. To get rid of the minus 6, I add 6. Now, you could do the other method. You could start off with multiplying and dividing, but it'd be very complex. This is much easier. Okay, so that leaves me with 3x. That's gone. That's 0. And 15 and 6 makes 21. And you can see your answer right now, but let's go ahead and do the second step, multiply or dividing. So I'm going to this is times, so I will do division. I'll divide by 3, both sides. And that leaves you with 21 divided by 3 is 7. And you could just see that right here too, because 3 times 7 is 21. Now notice how I keep my equals lined up. That's what you should be doing. Keep your equals lined up. Let's see if our answer is correct. Is 7 the correct answer? We got this answer 7, but is it correct? What I'm going to do is take the 7, plug it right back in there for that x. But I'm going to do that over here. So I'll rewrite the same problem over, but put 7 in there for x. And now we're going to see, does the left side equal the right side? In other words, does this equal 15? Well, 3 times 7 is 21. Bring down the minus 6. 21 minus 6, that is 15. So yeah, look, the left side is equal to the right side. Therefore, yes. You could say okay or yes. Our answer is correct. 7 is the correct answer. It is the solution to this equation. It's the only number that will work for this variable right here. Okay, here's our second example. This time we'll check it on the other side. Just a minute. X over 2 minus 5 equals 1. All right, our first step is take care of any adding or subtracting. Well, to take care of this minus 5, I will simply add 5. But you have to do it to both sides. You have to be fair. So this is gone, right? This is 0. And this leaves me with just x over 2. I'll keep my equals lined up. And then 1 plus 5 is 6. Now I'll take care of multiplying or dividing. Let's see, this is x divided by 2. So the opposite of divide by 2 is multiply by 2. And I need to do that to both sides. So you can see that these will reduce to 1, and you're left with just the letter x. Keep the equals lined up. 6 times 2, that's 12. Okay, now let's check it to the side. So what we're going to do is we write the problem over again, only this time we're going to put a 12 for the x. We're going to substitute a 12 in there. So it's going to be 12 divided by 2 minus 5 equals 1. 12 over 2 minus 5 equals 1. And does this work out? Does the left side equal the right side? Does it equal 1? Let's see. We have 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6, right? 2 goes into 12, 6. Minus 5. Well, 6 minus 5, that's 1. And notice that it does equal 1. The left side equals the right side. Therefore, this is true. You could say yes, or you could say true, whichever you like to say. So what does that mean? It means our answer is correct. What would happen if the left side was different than the right side? Then our answer would be wrong. That's how we tell. One last quick comment. Notice that the answer here was 12, but yet over here we end up 1 equals 1. That doesn't matter what this number is over here. All that matters is that the left side equals the right side. You're just checking to see if this answer is correct. It doesn't have to be 12 equals 12. You're just checking to see if the left side equals the right side, to see if this is the right answer. That's why over here it wasn't a 7, it was 15. 15 equals 15. You're just checking to see if 7 is correct. Okay, we'll do 2 more examples, except we won't check them. We'll just check them mentally. Remember, our steps are adding or subtracting, then multiply, divide. So let's see, am I going to get rid of the 2 times x, the coefficient, or am I going to get rid of the constant, the 3? The 3. Okay, so this is a positive 3, so I will subtract 3. But I have to do it to both sides. So that's gone, and that's going to leave us with 2x. Keep my equals lined up. Equals 15 minus 3 is 12. And you can see your answer at this point, but I just want to go over with you. Next, we have, this is times. To get rid of the times, 2 times x. I divide by 2. And that reduces to 1 and leaves you just with x equals 12 divided by 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. And just mentally, you can take a look in there. I'll put a 6 there. 3 plus 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. That works. Okay, number 4, our last example. So let's see, we want to do any adding or subtracting first. So to get rid of the plus 6, I will subtract 6. Both sides. Now I'll keep my equals lined up. So this is gone. And that gives you negative x over 8. That's gone. And 2 minus 6. 2 minus 6. There's more negative. It's negative 4, right? 6 minus 2 is 4, and there's more negative. Okay, so what do we do next? This is a little tricky. If you remember from yesterday, if you have a negative up on top, remember like this? It could be sideways, in the middle. It could be at the very bottom. You could have a 1 up there. I like to make it like this. It makes it easier for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of erase this, or scratch it out, because I don't want to be a racist. So I'll just put the negative down here. Instead of up there, I'll put it down here. It's the same thing. So now it's divided by negative 8. To get rid of divide by negative 8, I would multiply by negative 8. I'm doing it to the opposite of divide. I'm going to times it. But you have to do it to both sides. So what happens is these reduce. 8 over 8, they reduce to 1. Negatives cancel. That leaves you with just x. Keep the equals lined up. 4 times 8 is 32, and I count the negatives, 2 of them, they cancel. So my answer is 32. And if you check this, you put 32 in there. 32 divided by 8 is 4. So we have negative 4 plus 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. It works out.